Hi everybody, this is Hero back with another Dragonflight video, and I'm here in the MoP remix, and I have 3 tips for you to encourage you to play this mode and get through it and not get frustrated in it as we get going. First tip is play a tank or a healer class for really fast queues. I'll just show you what I'm talking about. You can do things like raid finder, queue up. If you just do a dungeon finder for a heroic here, time warping, look at how fast I'm instantly into the queue. That will get you right into content. Doing content is what really gets you going in this game, because what you're trying to do is stack up your time runner's advantage, which is the little bonus on your cloak. You can see here I'm at 34% experience gain as a level 27 restoration druid. And my goal here, this is again tip number 1, is make your first character a tank or a healer, or able to do that. Build up your cloak so that the subsequent alts that you want to level start the game with this huge advantage. So if you get a bunch of percentage experience, the next character that you run will have a much easier time because they get a bunch of these stats right away. That's tip 1. Tip 2 and tip 3 are about gems. The second tip has to do with a very specific one. If you're doing a lot of dungeoning, you want to get Brittle. The way the gem system works, it's orienting your gameplay towards all these modifications, and Brittle just does an insane amount of damage. So what we found is, that was my word of salvation. I'll talk about that in a second. Where is that trash damage that I was looking at? Is this it? Yeah, here it is. So this is not an atypical moment in dungeons. Your Brittle gem, because of the way this works, this is especially true on healer classes, it bursts damage from one target onto the rest, and this can cascade and blow the rest of them up. So it's kind of like exploding palm in all of the D4, D3 games, where you apply a debuff, it blows up, and it blows everything else up. Really cool. I would suggest, if you want your dungeons to go really fast, as a healer you can pick this up and do tons of damage. Same with the others, but Brittle seems to be amazing. You can do like Explosive Barrage and Wildfire. I've been testing a lot of these out. Nothing comes close to the contribution of Brittle in a AoE scenario. Final tip for you, tip number 3, get Leech on your tank in your dungeons. It makes it so much easier. Leech can be found both on the items you can see here on the vest, as well as these red ruby gems that give you Leech, and you can stack these up. I can put 2 here, I can put 2 more on my chest. You can have them stacked up. There's also room for, I think, no, that's all. Maybe it's hands, I forget. There might be some rings. I think you can get some rings later. Same thing once you hit a certain level. Leech transforms the gameplay, makes it really easy for everybody. Look at, here's a warrior tank in one of the dungeons, and Leech is just carrying the dungeon. If you don't have this, what you end up finding, especially in the heroic stuff, is the undergeared tanks get slapped in all content, and you basically have to spam Holy Light or Regrowth or whatever the whole time. It's really anxious. If anyone else gets hit, you're basically a GCDA away from wiping. So having Leech on your tank is one of the most important tips for having group content work well. That's my 3 tips for the MoP experience. Number 1, queue or your first character in as a tank or a healer for super fast queues to get your cloak up. You can do the questing if you want to do it as well, but it'll be slower. That way all the subsequent characters can go really quick. Number 2, get Brittle. And number 3, make sure your tank and your healer has a bunch of Leech to make your dungeon experience or your snare experience that much easier. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments how your experience is going, what kind of crazy damage you've seen or funny moments. We will see you next time.